And so for our last topic in our accounting basics, we will be dealing with the double entry principle, accompanied by our accounting equation. So what the double entry principle tells us is that for every debit, there should be a credit. There must be a credit. And the purpose of this, it is to try to assist us in balancing our accounting equation, and we will see this in the few examples that we will attempt now. And then, so the implication of this is that for every transaction that we deal with, there will at least be two accounts that will be affected, right? Two accounts, meaning that we will have a debit account and a credit account, right? So there's a way in which, we can try and simplify all this identification of these two accounts and getting our debits and credits. So there's two questions that I will advise you to ask yourselves. So the first one is, what happened? What happened? So by this you mean what came in, what came out, or what came in, or what went out, right? And then the second question would be, for what purpose? For what purpose? So this is basically our why. So I will just write two transactions that I want us to attempt, just two basic simple transactions. So the first one, let's say we've bought a phone for 10,000 rands cash. For 10,000 rands cash, right? And then the second question will be, we rendered services for 25,000 rands on credit. Okay, let's fix my R there. For 25,000 rands. For 25,000 rands on credit. So with the first one, when we ask ourselves what happened, is that we've paid cash. Is that we've paid. So with our what happened is that we've paid cash. And why did we pay cash? Because of we were buying a phone, right? And then with the second one, when we are asking what happened, we're going to ask ourselves what came in or what went out. So what went out were services rendered. So we had services rendered going out, right? So services rendered went out, and then why they went out, they were on credit, right? They were on credits, that's why they went out. Okay, so now our thing would be to say, with that phone, we would need to then find our debit. So we say that we've bought a phone for 10,000 rands. A phone is an asset. An asset increases on the debit side. So we have a phone there because of our assets are increasing. We'll have it there. And then because of we've paid cash, our bank is decreasing. Bank is an asset. It decreases on the credit side. So there we would have our bank, and then you'd record your 60,000 as a credit there, right? And then for the second question, so we're saying we've rendered services for 25,000 rands on credit, right? So what went in, one went out, services went out. So when services go out, it means that we are going to receive income because of we've rendered service. So if we receive income, it means that our income is increasing, right? So income increases on the credit side. So we can write there our services rendered for 25,000 rands on the credit side. And then we go look at our debit side. So why did we have these services rendered off with 25,000 rand increase? It's because of we've sold something, but we sold that something on credit, right? So remember, if we sell on credit, it means that our assets are increasing. So our assets are increasing, we will then debit our debtors there because of those guys that we sold on credit for still have to pay us back our 25,000 rands. So the last thing that I want to then do is to try and show us how can this work out in our accounting equation and how does our accounting equation balance. Okay. So let's have our headings there for our assets. Let's say equity there, and then we'll have our liabilities. So this must always balance, right? So with the first transactions, we can say our assets are increasing, right? So we have phone there. How much was it? It was 60,000. We'll have it under our assets. So, but we also had bank, which was our assets. So they were decreasing again by 60,000, right? So this transaction did not affect equity. It did not affect liabilities. So if you see the 60 plus 60 minus 60, it's 0, it's 0. Our equation balance, because of its 0 is equal to 0 plus 0, right? Then when we look at the second transaction, we're saying that our debtors went up, meaning our assets increased. So we would have our debtors there in our accounting equation for 25,000 because of our assets have increased. Now we have to look at e-services rendered. If we remember properly, we said e-services rendered its income, and then e-income, it increases our equity, right? So we said here we have income as it increases our equity. So when doing this one as well, okay, yeah, we're back. So we said income increases our equity. So these services rendered its income, and we would have to come write it there as 25,000 under our equity because of our income is increasing. So 25,000 is equal to 25,000 plus 0, and we see that our accounting equation is balancing there. We will deal with more examples as and when we go on, and we will become more comfortable with this with more questions and practicing. So you just need to ask yourself what happened, what went in or what went out, and for what purpose and why. And another way in which you can help yourself to identify these two accounts and the elements that are affected is to, when you read this transaction, just identify the account. After identifying the account, tie that account back to its element. Is this account an asset? Is it a liability or is it an equity? Because of after you've determined that, then you'll be able to see or know how does that account behave. Is it going to be a debit? Is it going to be a credit? And then over the next few weeks, we will see we will see how this unpacks and builds up into the more difficult questions. Thank